Empath women secrets decoded. The one secret they don't want you to know that causes you to be both strong and sensitive. The one secret they don't want you to know to continue abuse you and your empathy. The one secret that is hidden from an empath woman which causes abuse. It is an insider's guide to be both strong and sensitive. Every empath woman needs to know. Let me tell you how I learned and earned it. Why it means a lot to me to share this framework to you to help you as an empath woman to get out of the illusion they want you to believe in order to you don't know the one secret so that they could meet their narcissistic supply. Let me tell you my story. The whole story of my life began since my puberty at the age of 13. Suddenly I felt I'm lost in a desert, transparent, invisible. Everyone seemed unknown to me, even my mother, even my sister. I lost my identity. It was a deep loneliness. I felt I don't fit in. No identity, humiliated, degraded, got extreme shy. I couldn't believe what happened to me. I woke up every day hoping that it was just a dream and everything is going to back to normal soon. I was wondering if it is something that I just feel it or others are able to realize it too. I was so afraid of other people understanding what happened to me. What if they understood I'm nobody? I feel humiliated and degraded. Before that happens to me, I was good at school, lovely girl, supportive, trustable, had the most votes for being representative in the class. What if I've lost all of those good feelings? So I decided to test it. I was going to go to the second class of middle school. I decided to be a candidate for representative and see if my classmates still vote for me or not. So let's see what happened. I couldn't believe it. I got just 5 votes. While back then, most of my classmates voted for me. I got an epiphany here at this point. How they understood what happened inside me. I haven't told them anything. It had been just 1 week past since the new year. It was an epiphany that people can understand what's going on in your mind, in your internal world. It made a fear and a hope. I was so afraid of others around me knowing of negative emotions that I was experiencing inside me. And the hope was also it made me hopeful that if I could change what was going on in my mind into good feelings, they would understand it too. Then I can take back my lost identity. That made me investing most of my life on internal work to take back what I lost. That was my identity. Eventually I believed that, yeah, it seemed something happened inside me, but didn't know what. I sat down to mourn. It was a great loss, like losing your dearest. The identity is everything you have, especially at that age. I couldn't communicate with anyone for 7 years. How I dealt with that experience during those 7 years until 20, I just cried, wrote, and sang songs to express my grief. The transitional experience inside me created these four big questions in my mind that shaped and impacted the rest of my life to find the answers for these 4 questions. At first, I was wondering what happened to me. What was the reason? What can I do to get rid of those negative emotions and take back my lost identity? Why that happened to me? Why not other people around, in my family? At the age of 20, I couldn't bear with loneliness anymore. I wore an extroverted mask and entered society. After the age of 20, I took courses to learn social skills, met so many different people to practice communication, took self-development courses, mindfulness courses, went adventures traveling to experience the connection with the universe until the age of 30. And then at the age of 30, I came across to Vipassana retreat on one of my travels, and that changed the whole direction of my life. I spent 2 weeks on Vipassana retreat with no communication, no speaking, no phone, no internet, just meditating and meeting primary needs. Strangely, I felt all those negative emotions at the age of 13 again. It seemed during those 2 weeks that I didn't do anything to escape from them, those negative emotions, I mean. They got the chance to come up again. They were still there, as if they were just suppressed. Epiphany 2. I got another epiphany at this point. You cannot get rid of negative emotions. You should cope with them. I couldn't cope with them in daily life, so I decided to do darkroom retreat. Sitting in totally darkness with water and fruits for days. I spent 3 days for 3 times, one time 6 days, and the last time, which was about 7 months ago, was 7 days in totally darkness. I let my psyche face all these negative emotions without any escapism. My psyche didn't have any other ways to cope with them. Sitting in the darkness shifts your brain chemically and affects on the amount of melatonin and serotonin your brain is able to release. I felt a level of joyous that I was seeking for 17 years after the 6 days one, that I got convinced to leave, and I loved life after the 6 days one. I felt I'm released from those negative emotions from the age of 13. I could felt flow state in my brain. It was like a river. Constant flowing river. I got the answer for one question at this point, and that was this: how can I get rid of these negative emotions and humiliation and take back my identity, which I could do somehow. But still I had this question, but why that happened to me? What was the reason for that experience? Now I could visit a psychotherapist because my emotions were released enough to let me speak about what happened at the age of 13 without crying stops me. Until I found narcissism. I realized I was victimized by a narcissist in my family. I realized narcissistic abuse is existential, and the victim of narcissist describes a feeling of inner death, void, loss of identity, like I experienced at the age of 13. And at this point, I want to remind you, don't forget to watch the 1-hour video of Inside the Mind Narcissist that I will share as one item of my free offers that really changed the whole direction of my life, the whole perspective of me about narcissism. And this is from Sam. His videos changed completely the victimhood. Don't forget understanding your abuser's mind is a level of healing from victimhood and abuse. You should know about why your abuser do or behave with his victim like this. And in that video, he explains it deep down. Anyways, a narcissist should annihilate your existence to meet his narcissistic supply. So I answered the second question at this point. What was the reason for my experience at the age of 13? Which I could get the answer. But still I was wondering why that happened to me and why I attract narcissists. Also, I was wondering why I'm so sensitive to some behaviors, words, sentences, people, emotions. Still, I felt degraded when someone criticized my sensitivity and told me, "You're so sensitive, you're so childish." Also, when I looked back into my life and reviewed my relationships, I was wondering why I attracted abusers all the time. Why I allowed them to question me while I just wanted to please them. Strangely, still I was finding myself in the same position somehow. Until I found that I have a high level of empathy, and that's why. And that makes me so sensitive. I realized that it is not a weak point, but an ability. But if you cannot manage it, it turns into a weak point. Studying about empath personality and how high empathy attracts narcissists filled out the puzzle of my life for me. Don't forget also to read the one-pager I share with you as one items of free offers, which I share inside the mind of empaths that I collected from observing my empath clients' mental structures. This is awesome. And this is very strange that you see that all of the empath women or empath people personality have the same structure. It is very strange. Also, I found too much anger when I realized I was victimized and abused because of my honesty and empathy. As an abused empath woman, I had to find a healthy way to release that amount of anger, which is not very small. I found helping other abused empath women as a healthy way to release my anger towards my narcissist and kind of taking revenge on him. That's why sharing all what I learned through the journey of self-discovery and helping you get out of victimhood means a lot to me. After studying about empath and narcissists in depth, also finding common patterns on my empath clients, I found the one secret that they don't want us to know, which causes you as an empath to use your ability of empathy with others rather than yourself, so that narcissists can continue abuse and meet narcissistic supply. What is the one secret that they don't want us to know? What is the one secret? It seems one thing is hidden from empaths. If you be aware of the one thing, I'm telling you, if you be aware of the one thing, all other empath features that caused her to be abused by narcissists will automatically disappear. Empath women's features that causes her to be abused are these lists. She put others ahead of herself. She avoid pain in others first. She seek pleasure in others first. She has no boundaries in relationships. She mostly wait for others to start conversations, to hang up the phone, choose where to go. She keeps silent when she is sad to avoid sadness in others, feeling deep loneliness, invisible and not being understood, feeling insecure in relationships, emotional dysregulation and sensitivity. If you be aware of the one thing, I'm telling you, all of these features that causes abuse will automatically be gone. It means if you be aware of the one thing that is hidden from you now, you automatically put yourself ahead of others, avoid pain in yourself first, seek pleasure in yourself first, set your boundaries confidently without caring too much about others' sadness, start conversations by yourself, you choose when to hang up the phone, you choose where to go, express your sadness without stressing about others' bad reactions because of that, feeling connected, united, inner love, inner peace, feeling safety, feeling supported. Take advantage of your sensitivity to recognize abusers and take care of yourself. Feeling emotionally steady. It means you will be both strong and sensitive. But they don't want you to know, because if you be sensitive and strong and at the same time, by your sensitivity, you will recognize them very soon. By your strength, you will set your boundaries confidently and strongly. So, with both sensitivity and strength, at the same time, you stop them to meet their narcissistic supply with you or abuse you. This is what I want to teach you in this framework. To be both sensitive and strong. Why and how this shift will gonna happen automatically with the framework I'm gonna teach you. Let me start with asking a question. An empath believes that she has a part that is in pain, suffers from deep loneliness, feeling invisible, transparent, inner death, void inside, loss of identity, not being heard. These are common feelings of most of an empath woman. So, an empath sees pain both in others and in the injured part inside herself, mostly since childhood. Okay? Also, an empath has a strong desire to be wherever she can be useful the most, support, remove pain, and feels responsible for anyone who is in pain, cause happiness. On the other hand, you as an empath have an injured part, a little wounded girl, inside you that you know her pain deeply. The little girl inside you who had abused in childhood. You when you were a child. So you know her pain in every microseconds while she was being abused. You know those microseconds that the narcissist humiliated her in front of the family and others. You know what was going on in her little innocent heart during the time she was being degraded by her narc. You remember all those microseconds the little girl inside you was experiencing, feeling shame and just wanted to hide from everyone. You know her pain deeply when she was being punished too much just because of a simple mistake. You know this little innocent girl inside you who is the loneliest because no one is aware of her existence because she is inside you. Nobody can see her except you that can just feel her, not see her. You know, no one knows what happened to her exactly except you. You feel her pain much more than others' pain when you look at her little innocent eyes versus when you look at others' eyes. You feel deeply her broken heart much more than feeling others' broken hearts because you know exactly what happened to her and her experience is in your memory. You can meet your desire to be useful with your little innocent inner girl, where no one can be as useful as you because you know exactly what she needs to hear to be behaved because it is inside you and in your memory. You can meet your need to support someone in pain with this little girl inside you the most. I mean, you can meet your need to support someone in pain with this little girl inside you the most, because no one can support her in a way you can, because no one is even aware of her needs or her pain. I said all these to let you know something is missing here. And the question is that if an empath has a strong desire to be wherever she can be useful the most, support, remove pain, and feels responsible for anyone who is in pain, cause happiness, but why she has empathy with others more than her little innocent girl inside her that is the loneliest one? But why she put others ahead of her little innocent girl inside her that she understands her pain much more than others' pain? Why she doesn't choose her little innocent girl inside her to support while she knows her story in detail? Why she doesn't choose her little innocent girl inside her to turn her sad eyes into happy eyes, which she knows what exactly can make her little eyes happy? Why she doesn't choose her little innocent girl inside her to shelter, to hug, to own, to be her caregivers that she had lack of? So why an empath with a highly level of empathy doesn't empathize with her little innocent girl inside her at all, which is the main reason to be abused? How could she leave a little injured girl inside her alone all these years while she has a high level of empathy? What is missed here? Yeah, the missing part is the little wounded girl inside you, the child version of you, the you when you were just a little innocent girl which was victimized. Yeah, you have been treated in a way to ignore the little injured girl inside you. They don't want you to meet her, to connect with her, to look at her eyes, because they are aware of your high level of empathy, that if you get connected to that little girl inside you, if you get connected to that little girl inside you, you automatically put yourself ahead of them, avoid paining yourself instead of them, seek pleasure in yourself instead of them, set your boundaries confidently instead of obeying and pleasing them, make your decisions to meet your needs, then you are not dependent anymore. Express your sadness without stressing about others' bad reactions because of that. Feel connected, united, inner love, inner peace. Feel safe, supported. Take advantage of your sensitivity. Recognize abusers and take care of yourself. Feel emotionally steady. Then all of these stop you from victimhood. Why that happens? Simply because of that, you are aware of that wounded little innocent girl inside you. Simply because of that, you can see a wounded little girl that needs your support the most, is in deep pain the most, needs you the most, is alone the most, can be seen just by you, can be understood deeply just by you, can communicate just with you, can express her needs just with you, can be heard just by you. The only one that is aware of her story is just you. So you as an empath automatically support her and feel fulfilled like when you supported others before. Set boundaries for her, set walls for her to keep her safe, meet her needs, want to do whatever she wants to see happiness in her little eyes. Even the most childish or irrational ones express her needs, her ideas. Because you have a strong reason and desire to do all for her, because now you are aware of her. You feel her. You looked at her little innocent, painful, in pain eyes, who were victimized and is in pain. You cannot forget pain you saw in her eyes. This is what abusers wanted to hide from you all these years. To be able to use you to meet their supply. To be able to use you to meet their hungry and greedy ego's needs. That's why a narcissist humiliates you, degrades you, gaslights you, makes you doubtful about yourself, makes you doubtful about your sanity, your validation, your existence, exaggerate your small mistakes, to convince you and your surroundings that you don't exist, you are nobody, you are transparent, invisible, whatever about you is not important. So don't take their humiliation personally. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It is just their strategy to don't let you be aware of the little wounded inner child inside you. To use your empathy to feed their hungry ego. Leave all those compliments abusers give you as a reward to make you continue meeting their narcissistic supply. When they say you are so kind, productive, good-hearted, generous, easygoing, hard worker, good companion. In fact, those compliments are a bribe to forget your little wounded inner girl inside you. And don't feel a higher level of good feelings you would experience if you get connected to her, if you be united with her and support her. Now I want to teach you how to get connected to the little wounded girl inside you. What narcissists don't want you to know, because they know if you learn how to get connected to her, you would automatically lose all features of an empath woman that causes abuse. The same thing that happened to me when I get connected to little wounded girl inside me. I feel in love with her. I fell in love with her. I love supporting her, meeting her needs. I feel I have a real girl who needs me the most. I felt, how can I let her without boundaries now that I saw her deep pain? How can I put others ahead of her now that I know she just has me and my support? So let me tell you how to get access to the one thing they don't want you to know. How to meet little wounded girl inside you. So there's 17 steps, tips and tricks to meet little wounded girl inside you. Step 1. Just find a picture of your childhood that reminds you of all those deep pain while she was being abused, but she was not aware of what was going on for her at all. When she carried those feelings of humiliation in her innocent eyes and on her little heart. The picture that you didn't like to look at her because you were convinced enough by your narcissist she was embarrassing. Step 2. Just look at her eyes for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Imagine she's a real little girl that is humiliated by one of her family members. Imagine she is a real little girl which is heartbroken, awful abuse. Step 3. Let your emotions flow through your body, through your eyes or heart, or wherever else it flows without you interfering. Find a part of your body that you feel more sensation on it. in any forms, warmth, tingling, pressure, whatever. Step 5. Consider that part of your body as a point. That little wounded girl inside you got stuck there for years because you were convinced by your narcissist she is embarrassing. And she was waiting all those years for you to pay attention to her, like a real little girl who deeply seeks her mother's attention and approval. Put your hand on that part of your body. Pay attention to that part as if you are paying attention to a real, forgotten, lost little wounded girl, which feels humiliated, degraded, feels she is not deserved to be paid attention to, be supported. How would you feel about her if she was a real girl? How much you had the desire to support her, to shelter her if she was a real girl. Step 7. Just feel how deeply she needed your attention, your hug, your understanding. Step 8. Feel sorry for all those years that you left her alone. You ignored her and her needs. You prioritized others over her, considered her as an embarrassing identity, because you believed your narcissist's opinions about her. Step 9. Promise her that you won't forget her anymore. You won't put others ahead of her anymore. You won't accept any kind of compliment as a bribe to ignore her and empathize with others. You won't sell her to get approval from others anymore. You won't believe your narcissist's opinions about her anymore. Step 10. Except if she is not ready yet to trust you and your shelter. Give her time as much as she needs. Understand her that she needs time to trust you after all those years of being ignored by you and was left alone. Let her release her anger to you or anyone else as much as she wants, however she wants. Maybe it takes days, even weeks, to trust you. Give her time as much as she wants. Now is her turn to experience life with your support and freedom you give her. Now that she could trust you to shelter her and don't abuse her, when she could feel safety after years of feeling insecurity, after years of living in stress, anxiety, loneliness, humiliation, now ask her what she wants. Do whatever she wants unconditionally, without judgment, even the most childish and irrational ones. Don't forget now is her turn to get benefit of your empathy and support, generosity that she was deprived for years. Now is her turn to live in a safe home, your hug, your heart. Step 12. Don't forget to ask her needs and ideas in any other situations that you ignored before in daily life. Don't forget to don't hide her reactions, whatever they are, even if they are childish. Now you understand her if she had a childish or sensitive reaction or a mistake, because you know that she was deprived of experiencing life all these years, and now is her turn to experience life in her own way, with her own mistakes, to evolve by the time. Step 13. Accept and consider her as your real little girl. Be her a new mother who this time knows exactly how to behave with her little girl. Be a safe mother and father for her. Grow her in a way you were dreamed to be behaved when you were at her age. Understand her, trust her, validate her. Allow her to set her own boundaries. Step 14. Don't forget you got a real new little girl. Don't forget her if you cannot see her by your eyes. Know that just you can feel her, not anyone else. So be careful about it, not to be forgotten again. Step 15. Grab something as a reminder which reminds you of her existence and her emotions in your internal world. Step 16. Meet her every day and accept her unconditionally, whatever feelings she has. Step 17. Don't punish her because of her mistakes anymore. Don't blame her for others' mistakes anymore. Don't accept much from her. Don't humiliate her because of her own style, her uniqueness. Remember all of these behaviors that you had with yourself were the continuation of abuse and stalking that your narcissist wanted you to have, to use you to meet his narcissistic supply. So don't follow his rules. Don't forget to watch the video I share with you as one of free offers, which explains why narcissists abuse. Narcissistic abuse is a different type of abuse. This is really life-changing. Step 18. Consider her as a real little girl that has been forgotten and humiliated for years, who needs your support and empathy. Don't forget to join my page on Facebook, Empath Narcissistic Cycle. See you on the other side. Thanks for your